wife runs over to her husband and says anxiously, David, listen to me. Her husband stops what he's doing and asks with concern, what happened, honey? Why do you look so worried? The wife replies excitedly, I just got a call from our hometown. They told me that your father and your sister, who have been separated from you for 13 years, have finally been found. The husband says happily, where are they? The wife replies, they're on their way to our house right now. Go meet them at the door. I'll stop by the market to buy some vegetables so I can make dinner. The scene changes. The daughter asks worriedly, Dad, why are you dressed like this? And where did you get all this money? The secretary says respectfully, Boss, I prepared everything just the way you instructed. I also brought the crutches. The boss replies calmly, bring the other things I asked for a little later. As the father walks beside his daughter, he says thoughtfully, Sweetheart, only time can reveal whether true love survives the test of wealth. Ever since your brother was separated from us, our lives have never been the same. The daughter points ahead and says, Dad, I think that's the house. The father says emotionally, Sweetheart, after all these years, we finally found your brother. I want to transfer 50% of the company shares to his name. Are you okay with that? The daughter smiles warmly and says, Dad, he's my real older brother. Of course I am. The father says, come on, sweetheart, let's go. As the father limps into the house, the son says excitedly, Dad. The father says emotionally, Son. The son says happily, Dad, we finally found each other. The father replies emotionally, Son, I finally found you. The son asks with concern, Dad, what happened to your leg? The father says gently, come on, let's go inside. The son carefully helps his father into a chair and says warmly, Dad, have a seat first. Then he calls out to his wife, honey, come outside quickly. The wife answers from inside, okay, I'm coming. She walks out of the kitchen and says politely, Dad, Sophia, you both must be exhausted from the trip. Let's eat first. The father-in-law asks curiously, so you're my daughter-in-law? The daughter-in-law smiles and replies, yes, Dad. Then the father-in-law says seriously, the meal is ready. Step aside for now. We'll eat first as family. You won't be sitting at the table with us. The daughter says softly, Dad, this is the first time we've met my sister-in-law. She works so hard to prepare all this food. Why won't you let her eat with us? The father replies calmly, Sweetheart, you don't understand. In our village, daughters-in-law don't sit at the table with the men. It's an old family tradition. Your mother followed this custom her entire life, and I don't intend to break it. The husband turns to his wife and says gently, Dad and my sister are here for the first time. Would you mind going out back and feeding the cow? The daughter-in-law smiles kindly and says, of course, you all haven't seen each other in years, so take your time and enjoy being together. I'll finish my work. If you need anything, just call me. Then the son says warmly, come on, Dad, Sophia, let's eat. After the meal, the daughter says cheerfully, Dad, I have to admit my sister-in-law is an amazing cook. The father nods and says with a smile, you're right, the food was absolutely delicious. Then he calls out to his daughter-in-law, you can come in now, we're done eating. The daughter-in-law replies politely, okay, I'm coming. The father-in-law says seriously, daughter-in-law, hurry up and eat your meal, then clean up the dishes. After that, I need to discuss something important with all of you. The daughter-in-law looks at the empty table and says calmly, Dad, I'm not hungry right now. Please tell us what's on your mind first. The father says seriously, son, your sister and I spent years searching everywhere for you. We used up all of our savings. I even had to borrow more than $100,000 from overseas to pay for treatment on my leg. I need you to give me $100,000 so I can pay off that debt. The son says sadly, Dad, we've been apart for so many years, so you don't know what our life has been like. You saw it yourself on the way here. Our village is almost empty now and only poor families are left. Coming up with $100,000 is almost impossible for me. The daughter says gently, Dad, you can see the situation my brother is in. Please don't put any more pressure on him. The father says calmly, all right, let's forget about the money for now. We've spent all these years searching for you, and now that we've finally found you, your sister and I want to stay here with you. Is that possible? The son replies respectfully, Dad, you've already seen the house. We only have 2 bedrooms. My wife and I sleep in one room, and the children sleep in the other. There isn't an extra room. Don't worry though. I'll rent a room nearby for you right away, and later we'll figure something else out. The father says angrily, I don't want to live in a rented house. I want to live with my children. You have 2 rooms. I'll stay with my grandson in one room. Your sister can have the other room, and you and your wife can clean up the porch and sleep there. Hearing those words, the daughter-in-law quietly walks into the bedroom. The daughter says worriedly, Dad, I think sister-in-law got upset after hearing what you said. The father says, son, if this is causing problems for you, your sister and I will just leave. The son quickly stops him and says anxiously, no, Dad, please wait. Let me think of another solution. A moment later, the daughter-in-law comes running out with a bundle of cash and says emotionally, Dad, you just got here. Why are you leaving so soon? You said you owe more than $100,000. Here's $50,000. David and I saved this money over many years. Please use it to pay part of your debt. To cover the rest, we'll sell both of our cows. The father-in-law says in shock, daughter-in-law, that's everything you've worked your whole life to save. The daughter-in-law replies sincerely, Dad, you're David's father, which means you're my father too. You're all my family. If you're in trouble, how could I not help? We may not be rich, but we can always make sure you both have 3 meals a day with dignity. Dad, please stay here with us. Let David and me take care of you and support you. The father begins to cry and says emotionally, son, daughter-in-law, do you really not look down on this old poor helpless man? Do you truly want me to stay with you? Suddenly, the secretary walks in and says, hello, Mr. Chairman. The boss throws his crutches aside, stands up perfectly straight and says, did you bring what I asked for? The secretary replies respectfully, yes, boss. Here's everything you asked me to bring. The son and daughter-in-law stand there completely shocked, silently watching everything unfold. After the secretary leaves, the son asks in confusion, Dad, what was all that? I'm completely shocked and confused. The father smiles and says, I did all of this to test the 2 of you. I wanted to see how you would treat me if I came to you as a poor old man after all these years. I'm proud to say that my daughter daughter-in-law passed every part of that test. The daughter-in-law says humbly, "Dad, I had no idea you were testing me. I was simply happy that my husband was finally reunited with his father and sister after so many years, but now I'm grateful that I passed your test." The father-in-law smiles proudly and says, "Daughter-in-law, you truly are a wonderful woman." Then he turns to his son and says, "You're a lucky man to have such an amazing wife." He hands him a file and continues, "This document transfers 50% of my company to you, while the other 50% belongs to your sister." Then he picks up a large bag, opens it, and says, "And take a look at this. I brought all of this money for you and your family. Share this with someone who believes family is worth everything. Don't forget to like and follow for more heartfelt stories."